Sarah Sanders flipped off, kicked out a restaurant that claims employees were uncomfortable. You my boy, Fox News. I see, flipped off. Hey, did they kick the legs under her chair too? Did they do that? Hey, did anybody key her car in the driveway? Did they do that? Yeah, you want to add that to? Yeah. They took all the toilet paper out the bathroom before she went in and refused to help her. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. Let us pray.
Let the gas go down. Yes, the gas needs to go down. Jesus. Woo. Listen. Let the gas go down, Lord. Woo.
I need some anointing. Because we got a trip coming up, and you know what I mean? Jesus be a discount. That's all I'm saying. Jesus be a discount. It's got so bad when it comes to travel. People just start wilding out on each other. People gonna start melting down soon.
Erika didn't choose this, man. She didn't choose this.
Erika didn't choose this. Dan Bongino, we got gas prices up the wazoo. We got soldiers that's being injured. Some have been killed. We got whole fractures going on your side of the aisle. What you talking about? Erika didn't choose this.
Imagine sitting there in your house and you find out from Twitter or, I don't know, a text or a phone call or that your husband was just shot in the neck for the entire world to see on social media at a public event. Dan
Bongino, wasn't you in the FBI? And y'all deal with what on a daily basis? Crime. So you should be very familiar with these kinds of cases and situations. Are you crying?
I can't imagine that. I know you can't either. Then you got to go through this. Then you got a bunch of absolute lunatics sending her emails. You did it.
Is this what you were spending all your time you were supposed to be working on the Epstein Files doing? Is this what you was doing? Because you came in with all that talk about the Epstein Files, like those victims don't exist, like actual victims. But you sat down and apparently calmed yourself down before you press record, because I can't imagine this was how you was in the beginning.
Comments, tweets. You go f yourself, you demonic scum.
The people that commented on Erika Kirk, not the people in the Epstein Files though, not them, but the people commenting on No, I'm gonna let you get this off because you gonna get a whole dragon, and you deserve it.
For as much as I hate what just happened, I wish ill on no one, and everyone should restrain their emotions from the other side because they are not on our side. Everyone. Once you go down the road of violence, there's no turning back. There's always someone stronger than you, man. Always. There's a whole lot of people stronger than me. And I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of no other New York way to say it than F you, motherfucker. You deserve to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body. You.
Didn't you just say once you go down the road of violence, and now this is where you going with? This must be, he must be doing like a reverse psychology thing. Like when he came in and he said he was going to get justice for the victims, and then he didn't do any of that. So that must be, now I see it. Now I see it.
If there's an afterlife, oh, and I believe there is. I believe in the second creation. I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know you're not in it.
Oh, I know you believe in an afterlife, Dan Bongino. I know you believe in an afterlife because that's why you thought you could leave the FBI after having accomplished nothing and go right back to podcasting. Like you definitely believe in an afterlife for sure. I don't know if they with it though.
Don't be a coward, Dan.
Hey, you're gonna be trespassed from your property, okay? This might be, you might feel like you're in
God's watching you, man.
But this is...
Remember, we reap what we sow. God's watching us. Go all out against the deep state. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of Satan, man. I'm telling you.
You're a big.
I'm ready.
Why don't you do it?
I'm ready to be in Congress.
Why don't you put your name?
I'm ready. I plan on it.
Go volunteer.
I'm not afraid of Hillary.
Go volunteer.
I'm not. God bless you, man. I'm here in love, Dan.
Dan Bongino completely loses it when someone tells him don't be a coward and not to fear Hillary Clinton. He fires back, why don't you volunteer yourself, then turns on the crowd, you won't do S. Don't be a coward, Dan. You see his face, though? Did you see his face? I seen that face before. The face you make when you can't block people in real life. He did say it's always somebody stronger than you. Apparently they was at the bottom of the steps. Yeah, that's where they was at. Yeah.
You got it? Got it. You're a pedophile protector, a pedophile protector, pedophile protector. You put. I was a cop for 9 years. You're a pedophile protector. You're a pedophile protector. Fact, you, dude. You.
They got multiple videos. They did more camera work on this than it was in the Melania documentary. They did more pre-production on this than the Melania documentary. And I absolutely love challenging the man that was a cop for 9 years. And I can bet he saw a lot more justice during his time than yours in the FBI. That's one thing. Hey, that's why the podcast looking like it is. Dan Bongino's podcast has slipped into the 90s and now sits behind a morbidly obese man who does shirtless comedy. Is that Tom Segura or Bert Kreischer? Which one is doing that now? No, because I'm always looking for new content to watch at night before I go to sleep. Rumble host Dan Bongino has seen a massive drop in his viewership despite a large ad campaign aimed at boosting it. Bongino resigned from the FBI to focus on, quote, more important work, primarily resuming his podcast and arguing with people on X, largely about Israel. Amid his decline, many critics have labeled Bongino a coward and a sellout. Yeah, that'll happen when you don't do any of the things you said you was going to do. Yeah. Trump, I know. Dan Bongino, I know. I know. But then again, have you seen his poll numbers lately? Have you seen his poll numbers? They look like your viewership numbers. They look very similar. Yeah. And both of y'all losing MAGA media.
They call him a traitor and attacking him. It's disgusting. And Dan Bongino attacking Joe Kent. I mean, it is just so cowardly. Absolutely disgusting. I don't even want to attack Bongino. He has just become such a shameful person. But he's just bought and paid for by the Israel lobby, folks. And I just, I'm not the guy that says everything's Israel, but now it is Israel. Everything people worried about, things that Pat Buchanan was worried about on foreign policy, he was right about, but he never thought they'd actually run the whole government. And they're doing it all against their own interests, folks. In the end, Israel's own interest. Israel's thinking, Netanyahu's thinking about staying in power. And, with sales plan of greater Israel and stuff. It's delusional.
It's good to see that Alex Jones found his way out of his car. It is. I was concerned about that. He was doing a whole lot of car content at one point.
What?
Hey, Erika. Yeah. We need a powwow, because when we was last here, we was talking about what happened in Arkansas and all the fallout from that and whatnot, and hoping Candace don't drag you for it, which she will. Just you wait. You see how bad it's going for people just out here trying to cape for you, like. You know what I mean? They was waiting for Dan Bongino at the bottom of the steps for caping for you. Y'all might want to clean up the messaging.
Huh? What?
I mean, look how bad it is for Ben Shapiro. Insane how much Ben Shapiro fell off. He doing Reese Waters numbers with over 7 million subscribers. I'm just playing. We do way better than that.
You're bigger than you've ever been before. Candace Owens is bigger than she's ever been before. I know I'm bigger than I've ever been before. Ben Shapiro is weaker and more of a laughingstock than ever before.
You're gonna cry in the car.
Ben Shapiro's YouTube career is practically over at this point. Hey. That's unless Candace drags him again and brings him back into the algorithm. Which she probably will do. He has such a draggable face. You see what I'm saying, Erika? This ain't all the files. This is not all the files. Half these names are blacked out. This page right here look like UPN Friday night. Ain't nothing but black on here. And I know exactly who it is. Why is he protected? Oh, because he donated? All the tax breaks he get, that was basically my money he donated. Where's my protection? You already know. While the haves protect themselves and each other, they do nothing when your phone numbers, addresses, and bank accounts are being attacked. And you know who that helps? Data brokers that take all the information they can find on you and sell it without your knowledge. And creeps. It also helps creeps. We know this because the bill that would have required data brokers to get your consent before selling your information is circling the drain like this Congress. This is where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in. Data brokers do have to remove your information if you tell them, but they make it as hard as possible. But Aura does the hard work for you, constantly scanning the dark web and submitting opt-outs on your behalf. Give Aura a few weeks and you'll stop seeing your information on these sketchy sites when you search yourself. They also include features like dark web monitoring, fraud alerts, a VPN, and more. Aura is truly a great deal if you want to be more private and protected online. You can go to my link, aura.com/ReeseWaters. That's aura.com/ReeseWaters to try 14 days for free. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal information off these data broker sites automatically. And here we have Erika Kirk saying she doesn't know how her husband would feel about the Iran war and whether or not the USA should get involved. Well, that's weird, Erika, especially because there are countless videos, ones y'all probably deleted from the real Charlie Kirk show, where Charlie was adamantly saying he was against starting a war with Iran. You are not this ignorant, so we have concluded that you are in fact evil. Y'all like to put stuff on Erika Kirk. Y'all like to put, because they be having the fake audio stuff too. I've seen that. It's video?
Yeah, no, to answer your question, my husband isn't here to say whether or not we should be at war with Iran. I would love for him to be here right now and tell us if we should or should not. I would love it. I miss his voice more than anyone in this world. And, it's frustrating when you have people speaking for him. I think I have a sentiment for that.
Erika Kirk, you can't speak without somebody getting footage of it and it sounding wild. Honestly, I would probably just stop talking. Honestly, I would Just reel it all. You don't know who you can trust. And who you definitely can't trust is you. So just reel it back in. Oh, you got a question from the audience. If Turning Point USA is all about Charlie's legacy, why would they delete all of his podcasts? Yeah. It's almost like that wasn't true. You know, it's almost like that wasn't true. Yeah. No, because y'all be deleting stuff. That's one thing we know is y'all be deleting stuff. TPUSA's Andrew Clovet admits he wanted to hide leaked internal text messages to Candace Owens from the public so that people wouldn't get the impression that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. He blames Joe Kent for releasing the messages publicly and fueling a conspiracy theory.
And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way, and we're not really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors, and he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran. He was in the Oval Office in the lead up to the 12-day war. I wasn't particularly close with Charlie. He was very gracious to me when I was running for Congress, very, very supportive. So we knew each other. And the last time I saw Charlie Kirk on this earth was in June in the West Wing, in the stairway. And I said hi to him, and he looked me in the eye, and he said very loudly, and it's a small, you've been in the West Wing, it's small, it's a tight space. And he said, Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran. Very loudly.
He was single-minded.
And he walked off, and he went, I believe, into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that. It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate. And the FBI will say that they stopped that because they wanted to have turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
no, I don't think you are.
Because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to President Trump against this war with Iran.
I got a question. So if I got this straight, y'all wanted to hide existing messages to allay suspicion, and now you want to blame somebody else for them becoming public? Is that you thought that hiding stuff would allay suspicion, and now you want to blame somebody? You see what I'm saying? You went to hide stuff thinking that would diminish suspicion. And now when you're found out, you want to blame somebody else, and that's what? Also supposed to diminish suspicion? Y'all need to talk to kids. Because you learned this in grade school.
He's right,
I'm just grateful that Andrew is dumb enough to admit this live on air. Now everyone should be able to see what deceptive little scumbags they are. And you wanted to hide leaked texts that were 100% real just to protect Israel, and then you wonder why everyone thinks Israel did it. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And you wonder what has given fuel to Candace this entire... Are y'all working with her? Are y'all... Hey, Erika, ain't no way they this incompetent. They give her content every week. Ain't no way they this incompetent. You better check them. You better check them. Or they gonna have to deal with her soon.
I would just like to dedicate this video to everybody that was attacking Candace Owens. Tim Pool, Dan Bongino, Graham Allen, Cullen Rugg, Zach Guntherman, all of the White House water boys that relentlessly try to convince you that Candace Owens was a conspiracy theorist. Now that Joe Kent came out and dropped the bombshell, watch this video and tell me what you think.
I want justice for my husband.
When one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated.
Go down that rabbit hole, whatever.
We were stopped from continuing to investigate.
You don't need, you don't need anything else.
Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors.
He took massive abuse from his own donors, and they expressed it to him in a very intense way. I know because he showed me.
I have text messages, Megyn, calling me an anti-Semite.
Be very careful, Charlie. The prophets warned that those who curse Israel will be cursed. He is going to lift his hand from you. It will be to your peril. He did feel threatened by that.
He didn't say that. Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
We still had a lot more leads to run down that pertained to some kind of a foreign nexus.
How do you know?
We're cut off pretty early on from being able to access like the files.
I've seen it all.
Told that, hey, you guys need to stop. You can't work on this anymore. Not an honest effort was given.
You don't believe the truth. I don't know what to tell you.
If it is a slam dunk case that he took the shot, what about all the people who had prior knowledge?
The darker it gets.
I'm over there thinking I'm in crazy towns.
This is a mind virus.
There was more work for us to do on the potential of a foreign nexus.
Israel killed Charlie.
Come on.
We're coming up on several months now. Why hasn't this been done?
We are busy building.
There's been a lot of sympathy, and his movement has grown, etc.
I'm not going to sit in a corner and cry and be in fetal position.
But actual curiosity about getting to justice.
Basically daily being like, anything new, anything new.
To figuring out what happened.
Because it's too simple.
That makes me furious that we're being blocked from that.
Everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not.
We're not allowed to ask the question anymore. What does that mean? What does that mean that there are people and there's entities out there that don't want us looking into this?
I do not have time to address the noise.
And there was more stones for us to overturn.
No rock will be unturned.
Turning over every single stone.
Considering how pivotal Charlie was to the Maga movement.
Stop.
And to President Trump. That there hasn't been a more concerted effort to find the truth and to find justice.
Stop.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. She gonna have a field day with that, Erika. I'm telling you. I ain't gonna send it to her. I wouldn't.
Yeah! They squabbling out there now. Yeah!
Hey, Candace. Hey, I want to show you something.
Blake is just unleashed. He lets his hair, he doesn't have a lot of hair, down in this clip. Take a listen.
Some people are so obsessed
there it is.
with these same conspiracies that they concoct for every other thing that ever happens. And so they have to shove it into this one too, because they care more about their conspiracy theories than about the person who murdered my friend facing justice. I am fed up with it.
Here's why it's so frustrating is because there is going to be even more evidence that is presented to the public in May at the evidentiary hearing, okay? And it's a mountain of evidence, some of which has been made public, some of which has not been made public yet. And the prosecution is going to lay out its case against Tyler Robinson. And I'm told it's a whopper. I'm told they've got this guy dead to rights. And meanwhile, you have government officials that are now saying on the record to journalists they are willing to testify on behalf of the defense to get, ostensibly, to get Tyler Robinson off the hook for something that he did. And so the level of betrayal that I currently feel is dramatic.
Oh. Excuse, pardon my French. They're just so full of shit, right? They're just like, it's like, they're not even good. They're not even good. So they're saying There shouldn't even be a trial. He's so guilty. And the idea that anybody would tell the truth on the defense side, they're overwhelmed because the evidence is so overwhelming. It gets bigger every time they talk, by the way. Now it's a mountain of evidence. It's a mountain. So undeniable that if Joe Kent simply told the truth and said, yeah, I would have liked to investigate some other leads and I was blocked from doing that, it would all fall apart, as mountains do. You know me, if you just go stand up next to a mountain and tell the truth, the whole thing will crumble in front of you. It'll be like Building 7. Just emotionally just collapse and probably have Israel behind it.
Erika, I told you she was going to do that. I told you she was going to do that. Now, I don't know how she got it. I told you check your people because they give her content all the time. So you might want to check your people. She said they're not that good at it, and I would happen to agree. Y'all remember what he said to Megyn Kelly?
They're processing their guilt in the way that
their grief,
thank you, and their mourning in the way that they know how, and it's going to come out in 1,000 different ways.
Come on now, dog.
Come on, man.
You really just sat there and said process it? I don't even think kids could help them. Honestly, I don't even think. I think kids will wash their hands of this. Which one comes out 1,000 different ways? The guilt or the grief? Either one of them, right? Either one. It don't matter. Erika, I told you. I literally. They gave the game away so many times. I mean, come on. How many whistleblowers y'all need at TPUSA to know that this ain't it? You got to clean this up. I mean, this is horrible. Erika, it's so bad. You got Sarah Huckabee Sanders ran out the restaurant in Arkansas. Y'all remember when y'all did that AI performance in Arkansas before y'all got packed up by the TPUSA University of Arkansas? You remember you did the AI performance? Well, look.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders says an Arkansas restaurant told her to leave. A what restaurant? A what? An Arkansas restaurant? Where is she the governor? Where is she go? In her state? Was this also a KFC? Was this Colonel Sanders that told Sarah Huckabee get to step in?
That's up for y'all. What? Get out!
A restaurant in Little Rock, Arkansas found itself in the middle of controversy after the state's Republican governor said she was asked to leave. Last week, I was having lunch with two other moms at a restaurant when the owner approached a member of the state police executive protection detail and said my presence made their employees feel threatened and told us to leave. Did she say employees or the other customers? I would like to add the other customers. And did she say threatened? Just uncomfortable, just losing appetite, that's all. The restaurant in question, the Croissanterie, responded to Sanders' comments, saying in a statement to local news station THV11 that employees and other diners raised questions about the continued presence of the governor and her team in the restaurant. Now, just for my own entertainment, I decided to go to the Fox News coverage of this particular story because I know how they like to sensationalize things, and this is a story I want sensational.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man.
Sarah Sanders flipped off, kicked out a restaurant that claims employees were uncomfortable. You my boy, Fox News. I see, flipped off. Hey, did they kick the legs under her chair too? Did they do that? Hey, did anybody key her car in the driveway? Did they do that? Yeah, you want to add that to? Yeah. They took all the toilet paper out the bathroom before she went in and refused to help her. They did. Yeah, that's true. They definitely did.
I think they.
I heard they put raisin in her potato salad and took all the seasoning out her chicken.
Yeah, boy.
I heard they wouldn't give her no forks or spoons, just nothing but sporks. She had to eat with them little plastic sporks her whole entire meal.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I heard when they brought out everybody else's food, they came right to her table and just did circles around her table, getting everybody hungry and excited, only to give it to somebody else repeatedly.
I want to talk to the manager.
Their server clocked out and went home from her shift in between the time that she took their bill and the time that they got the bill back. So they were just sitting there just waiting forever to get their card. Sarah Huckabee. I was removed from the croissanterie in Little Rock, Arkansas. They accused me of wearing their tablecloths. That's a blatant lie. I swiped this one from an Italian restaurant. They love you, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. It's going great. I think they might have checked out that DEI video I made. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a horrible person raised by horrible people. Comment: the governor took up space for more than 2 hours after finishing her meal. She was asked to leave during lunch rush because her and her security team essentially had taken over an entire room for themselves. I was here with my wife, and they didn't kick her out for politics solely. They kicked her out for not being a good, thoughtful, and considerate customer. Not for politics solely. I love that. Not for politics alone. I mean, her politics are trash, but let's also be clear, she's a terrible human being on an interpersonal level, not just when she deals with huge swaths of people. She's equally bad. So you mean to tell me the lady who used her name to push her into a position of prominence and power that she will use to diminish the lives of those without such privilege, went and took advantage of an innocent restaurant and all her fellow patrons? No.
When I left New York, one of the main reasons was I'd walk into certain restaurants and you can read a room, right? And I would see disdain and disgust on people's faces just because I was in the room that they were in. Because they just, they have this, bubble and fizz reaction like Alka-Seltzer at the sight.
No, because people like to argue that they don't know. They know. They know exactly. Hey, Hannity. That was us. That was us. That was us. No, I was in New York around the time. Yeah. He right. He ain't lying. That's the only time I'll ever say that about Hannity. He ain't lying. He telling the truth about that. Hey, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, at least on the bright side, you're not getting dragged bad as Erika Kirk or Dan Bongino.
Sudden, these guys show up at a Maga event calling people, you get the point. Said it.
No. You tell them what he called you.
You're a protector, protector.
And he wasn't out there calling people, randos, just regular old Joes out walking around. He was specifically calling you out. We make a lot of videos making fun of good old Dan Bongino. You look pretty rough in that video, by the way. We can talk about it and we can, rage about it or laugh about it because Dan Bongino is like the biggest fall from grace probably in 2026. So far anyway. I mean, are we even halfway through this year? We can laugh and we can poke fun at you and we can make fun of you, and that's exactly what we're doing, right? But underneath all of that, this is actually a very serious conversation because he's right. You did nothing.
Dan Bongino. You got nothing to lose. I seen the way the pod's looking. You got nothing to lose. At least people would watch that. You know what I mean? Just try not to cry during it this time.
You were the assistant director to the FBI. You had all of the co-conspirator names on the Epstein Files that were released to the public. You know whose names were blocked off of those lists. You did nothing. You did nothing to bring justice for them kids or those women or their family. Nothing in justice for Virginia Giuffre. And you're never going to live that down. And you know what? I think that's probably the saddest thing because you have spent the majority of your adult life, in from being a Secret Service member. And then the majority of your life after that was spent doing this podcast and building this base and bringing in the people. And you just pissed it all away.
Hey, Dan, is she lying? Huh? She lying?
Demanding people join up, sign up, go do something. What? Obviously, they can't because you couldn't. You were there. It's a very serious conversation. You did nothing, which means we're all fucked. Like, we are all fucked. Our entire government structure is run by pedophiles or demons or lizard people or not humans. I don't know. Okay. But you were supposed to go in there and raid. Now you're back on your podcast and you're calling people dicks and telling them they're not mega and they're black pillars and doomer. Sending all your little 50 and 60-year-old fangirls after these people in the comment section. I got news for you, sweetheart. He ain't gonna pick you. And I think that's the sadder part, is that there are still people that believe you. They believe in what you're saying. I don't think there's a lot of them anymore.
Hey, Dan, she eating on this one, huh? You looking kind of quiet.
Because you can't even walk down the goddamn street without somebody yelling protector at you. So why don't you just come out with it? Why don't you just tell the people what he said and what he's accusing you of? You ain't gonna say it because he's right.
Dan, you gonna have to say something. Come on, dog. You can't. Yeah, hey, you gonna explode sitting there with her working you like this.